So PlayStation is doing this exact same thing, but people like to call out Microsoft like they're doing some terrible thing. So I'm sure you guys have heard a lot of hype about Microsoft no longer making games for the Xbox One. And that is actually true. About June 15th, Microsoft did announce that their internal teams are no longer going to be making new games that will be coming out for the Xbox One. So you can find these articles and YouTube videos stating right here that Microsoft is no longer making Xbox One games. This is here on The Verge. It's posted here on Tom's Guide as well. Engadget did a story about it right here, so this is confirmed. So you're probably thinking to yourself, well great, now I got to buy a Series S or X. And the answer is actually no, you don't have to upgrade yet. So if we go back here to this Engadget site, you'll see right here in their subtitle that you can still access Series S and X games through your cloud gaming. Microsoft is still going to be supporting a ton of these games on Xbox One, including Halo and Minecraft and Sea of Thieves. What this actually boils down to is no Microsoft studios are going to be working on games with a focus on Xbox One. So in my previous video, I talked about Starfield. Starfield is not playable on Xbox One. You've got to have a Series S or X to play that game. Now Microsoft just says that they're just not doing it anymore, but this is my theory. So when we looked at Starfield, it required a solid state drive, which means that the games are having to run at a faster pace to keep up with 4K, all of your different processes that it has to run. More and more these games are demanding a faster running speed, and the Xbox One just won't support it. Now if you were like me when you heard this, I thought to myself, what are you talking about? The Xbox One just came out. It's not that old. And then I remembered, oh yeah, that came out in 2013. That was 10 years ago. So I read a bunch of comments on videos and people were actually really upset about this. I was kind of upset too at first until I realized that 10-year mark had already hit. So let's do a little bit of comparison with this to the Xbox 360. So we're looking over here at a list of Xbox 360 games. We have this organized by release year. And we can see right here, if we scroll down a little bit, that Cobalt was the last game produced exclusively by Microsoft Studios on February 2nd, 2016. So in case you didn't know, the Xbox 360 came out in 2005, so that means that Microsoft in-house studios produced games for 11 years for the Xbox 360. And now we've gotten this news for the Xbox One that they're no longer making games. We are about right on par with the length of time that they produced for the Xbox 360. 10 years of producing games for a game console? That's about right. And I know our technology is different now with digital downloads, but you're still going to have a lot of things available to play on your Xbox One. Hey, if you guys like these videos and you find them helpful, consider hitting that little subscribe button down there. It really does help out the channel. Your Xbox One is not obsolete. Yet. Again, this is only for Microsoft Studios. This doesn't include anything like Capcom or Ubisoft or Telltale or Warner Brothers Interactive or Bandai. All of your third-party producers actually have a much more difficult time because as of right this second, if they're supporting last and current gen, they are trying to support 6 different consoles. You've got Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, and of course Xbox Series X. So I completely understand why Microsoft would choose to do this. Even if all producers only went to the current gen consoles, they're still having to produce games for 4 different consoles. Still Nintendo Switch, PS5, Xbox Series X, and of course the Xbox Series S. If you're not ready for one reason or another to upgrade your Xbox, then I think you've still got plenty of life left in your Xbox One. It's not as though Microsoft said they're shutting down everything for the Xbox One. I know a lot of panic posts make it seem that way, but it is not. So here's an article right here on Make Use Of that's titled, "It's Game Over for the Xbox One as Microsoft has officially stopped production." I personally hate titles like this because it makes it seem as though your Xbox One is totally obsolete. I hate these articles that are titled doom and gloom like this because they say things like, now we found out that just over 7 years later, Microsoft has stopped manufacturing all Xbox One consoles. As though 7 years was a short amount of time to produce these consoles. And people will take this and go, oh, the Xbox One failed, which is just totally ridiculous because your ongoing services for Xbox Live and all of your server support is still going to be there. That is not going anywhere. So now we're looking at an article on Games Radar. You guys may have seen this a little bit ago that the Xbox 360 storefront was actually going to be closing down in May. Well, if you didn't get the update to that one, that was posted in error. Xbox 360 storefront and online play is still going on. That means that Microsoft has supported the Xbox 360 almost 20 years into its lifespan, and I would expect no no less for the Xbox One. Now it's going to be different because things are much more digital, but things like Game Pass and all of your multiplayer servers, those are going to be supported well into the future. Here's another article on What's a Byte that Xbox claims that most Xbox One consoles will be usable still by 2025. By 2025, you would have given support for 12 years to that thing right back there. And Microsoft is most definitely not alone in this. Also on this Tom's article, we see that PlayStation is doing the exact same thing with the PS5 and the PS4 as it is getting older, where Spider-Man 2 is not going to be on the PlayStation 4. So PlayStation is doing this exact same thing, but people like to call out Microsoft like they're doing some terrible thing. And all over the internet, I've noticed that Xbox fans are some of the most die-hard. There's tons of videos out there about people still playing on 360 servers, and even on the first generation of Xbox. Don't believe all the doom and gloom hype that your Xbox One is totally done and obsolete. You're still going to get plenty of use out of this console. Well, thank you guys for watching. Leave me a comment on this video, and if there's any Xbox topics on your mind that you'd like me to cover, feel free to leave it in the comments, and I am happy to tackle those.